Well, hello, good people. It's time for some shenanigans with Creatively Shaded.
Your destination for all things Bay Area theater and beyond, honey.
Where the dish is served and the tea is hot.
So please join us, your hosts, Bay Area Black artists, Elizabeth Jones,
Phaedra Tillery Belton,
ShawnJ West.
as we share our perspective on what's what in the Bay. Come peek behind the curtain and get a little shady with us.
Hey!
What up?
What up? We are back.
Yes, we are.
Episode 2
Mm,
of season
3.
Oh my goodness. We are so happy to have you join us on another episode of Creatively Shaded, a Black artist point of view on Bay Area theater. So let's get into it.
Let's come on, jump all the way in.
All right. So, out in these theater streets.
Where y'all been?
Before we get into that,
Okay.
let's remind everybody about our new way of reviewing shows.
Okay.
Phaedra.
okay. So we have a scoring system, I'd like to say.
Mhm.
And so whenever we go to see a show, sometimes you'll get 2 of us, sometimes you'll get 1 of us. Each member of Creatively Shady gets 3 get downs.
Mhm.
They're able to get a show. So if you have 3 get downs, we're gonna say, go, everybody run to see it. Take your mommy, take your auntie, take your cousin, take everybody with you.
Everybody.
Go see it. Don't let it close without you being in there. Let's help it extend. I'm gonna say that's
Yes.
what 3 get downs is.
It's
Yeah.
like our spotlight.
Oh.
What? Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
3 get downs is a spotlight.
All right, now you got a
Ooh.
spotlight. Meow,
You see
meow,
how
meow,
the genius just
meow.
kind of like happens organically? That was
Okay.
not planned.
So 2 get downs is, you know what? I enjoyed that. Make sure you get down to see it. It
Yeah.
needs some help, maybe a little work. Maybe I didn't agree with certain things that I saw
Mhm.
on stage or casting or directing. Just maybe I have some feedback. Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
That's 2 get downs. At the bottom of the line, you still want to get down to see it.
Yes.
Maybe not take everybody with you, but take somebody who's a little less critical, right?
Who's open?
And then you have 1 get down, yeah? And that means, hey,
Excuse me.
go support this theater because at least they're doing Black work.
Right.
At
They're
least
doing
they're trying to
something.
cast Black folks. They may
Mhm.
not get every step right. They may need a little work, but at the end of the day, because they are putting Black bodies on the stage or behind the scenes, we're gonna say get down and support it, right?
Absolutely.
So that's how this goes.
That's how it is.
Can I add to that?
Yes.
Mm-mm.
Yes. I would say even with 1 get down,
Mhm.
we do give you all grace, but we're also going to be critical to an extent because that's our background.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
we are still gonna go like, yeah, I think this would have worked better if A, B, C, and D.
Mhm.
And so that's why it's only getting 1 get down because I think that was a missed opportunity.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean even if we will never hate on a show,
No, I don't hate on nothing.
No
I don't hate on
hate.
nobody's artistry.
so it's gonna
But
be
I also
more.
may not want to go see.
Right.
That's not what I meant. But I also may think that it needs work.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
that's not my favorite
Right.
show to go see. I'm not gonna go see it twice. Yeah, that kind of get down.
Yeah.
Let's move on before I say
Yes.
something crazy. Pray for me, y'all. The Lord ain't through with me yet.
Working on all of us.
So we was all out here working on these theater streets. And
Yes.
what did we see? Y'all saw what?
How Shakespeare saved my life at Berkeley Rep.
Okay, now.
When I tell you, I love this show. I'm going to try to give a very brief recap, and ShawnJ,
Okay.
pop in whenever you so please. So this was a one-man show, and it
Was
was
it on the what stage was it on?
the
was in
smaller one.
the main house.
The Pete's? Yes.
The one that's to the right.
Yes, that's the Pete
Yes.
stage.
Okay, yes, it was on the Pete stage. And
Okay.
the actor's name is not coming to my head right now, but it will come back. So this is a one-man show.
Hmm.
And basically his whole premise is Shakespeare saved his life. And so he starts with retelling the story about what it was like for him growing up.
Mm-hmm.
He had a very challenging childhood. His father was on drugs. He had a very kind of like a strange relationship with his mother. She remarries, and he starts at around like age 12 where he starts to tell the story. And then he ends up getting kicked out of his house. And so while all this is happening, he has a teacher who is like, we want you to come and do Shakespeare. And from there, it's interspersed throughout the entire show about how Shakespeare saved his life. So he becomes an actor. He's dealing with all these different things. And ultimately, he grapples with, like the white saviorism of Shakespeare, and really recognizes that it was just a catalyst to show him who he really was and what he already had inside of him.
Yeah.
And so he was playing so many characters. He played his mama. I mean, that's what a one person show does, but he played like his mom, both of his teachers. He played his dad. He played younger versions of himself. He played like his homeboys that like ended up jumping him at one point. So he was doing the thing, and I connected. I could not keep my eyes off of him. All these people were around me, and I was just like,
Well, he's the only one you're supposed to be looking at anyway. But
no, sometimes, yeah, but sometimes when you're in a show,
you can get distracted.
you kind of be
No,
like,
for real. Like, especially
but
a
I was like
one-person
this.
show,
I was
you can't
like,
be like,
oh
oh,
yeah.
no.
So I really loved it.
Yay. So how many get downs you give him?
I'm giving him 3.
All right now, spotlight.
Get down, get down, get down.
Different rhythm. Okay, we got 2 different versions of the get down.
Oops.
Yeah, because you couldn't even get to sleep that night. You were so wound
I
up.
wasn't. And then I was like wound up about it. And then I went like I was like, I gotta tell everybody. I said, I have to hurry up because I saw it the night before it was going to close. And I got on, I made a reel, and I was like, my sleepy, groggy voice. And I get up there and I'm like, y'all got to see this show. Come on. You got to 2:00.
Oh, wow.
So there you
Yeah, it really affected
Yeah.
me.
It was a good show.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, how about you, ShawnJ? What you
I
listen-
enjoyed it as well. And I love a one-person show where they are able to not just embody the characters that they're taking on, but also keep the story moving.
Yes.
Because sometimes, you know me, I like pacing.
Mm-hmm.
And there weren't pacing issues with this. I think it moved really, really well. He engaged with the audience. He even had audience participation.
Yes.
Brought an audience member on stage to play a
yeah.
character. They had no lines, but they were part of the actual reflection of that moment. So it was like a memory play. Some things that happened in the past and the present. And I thought it was well done. There are rarities in which a show makes me want to be on stage.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be on stage. Like I didn't want to direct it. I wanted to
be in it.
I wanted to be in that bad boy. So I think for me, that's get down, get down, get down.
All right, 3 get downs. We got
right.
2 spotlights on
Yeah.
this one. Pew, 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 pew. All right, how Shakespeare saved my life was amazing at Berkeley Rep.
Yes.
What else have we been out here seeing, y'all?
Well, we saw Primary Trust
Yes.
at TheatreWorks.
Mhm.
Okay.
And that features a cast that we love. See this? This is that.
Mhm.
William Thomas Hodgson. It has Rolanda
Bell,
Bell, and Kenny Scott,
Mhm.
and was directed by Jeffrey Lowe.
Mhm.
It's a really good show. I love the script, I think for me, I was somewhat challenged by some of the pacing. Like I said, I'm a pace junkie. I wanted to move because I think this character is based in like a mostly white town. He's Black American, and the challenge is he's been there his whole life. His mom moved there, and so now he's in this mostly predominantly white environment. And I think there are challenges in that. We all know that.
Yes.
When we are in white spaces,
Mhm.
we are not always fully welcomed in those spaces. And I think there were some opportunities to feel that tension a little bit more. And this character creates an imaginary character so he can relate to someone. So this imaginary character is his imaginary friend. And this is how he's navigating that space. So it was well done. I think there's just more opportunity to really delve into that, creating friendships outside of your mind so that you're not so isolated. So he kind of isolated himself by being isolated. And so, but it was really well done. And it doesn't close for a while until the 29th. But I would give that, what would I give that, Liz?
I don't know.
I think
I know what I want to give it.
I'm still going to give it, based on the talent, the story, the movement, I'm going to give that.
Oh, Lord.
Get down. Get down. Get down.
Oh, Lord. They got 3 of them, y'all. They got 3. Come on, Spotlight.
I didn't know what was going to happen. He got close on that mic.
We just giving spotlights everywhere today. All right. What about you, Liz, the biz?
Wow. All right. So I really love the mental health aspect. And then we come to find out, I don't want to spoil it because you have a chance
I
to
haven't seen it
see.
yet.
There's a reveal that really kind of makes sense of everything. It just kind of, shines a light on why he behaves in the way that he does.
Mhm.
And so with that being said, I agree with what ShawnJ has said. Such incredible actors. I love the set. It's so cool. I'm just so thankful I just really appreciate when technology is used in a way that enhances a production and not overshadows it.
All right.
And so with that being said,
Uh-huh.
Dum, 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 dum.
get down.
Uh-huh. Oh my gosh, you are so extra.
Get down.
All right.
And that's it.
Two get down.
So I have a question for you. So you gave it 2 get downs. Where would you say were areas of possible improvements? Or
I feel like that at times that the pacing did not move as well as I would have liked it to have. I felt like at times there was a distraction with some of the choices that were made. But overall, I felt like if it would have been tightened up, that would have been great.
But y'all saw previews.
No,
True?
it
You
was
saw
previews.
opening night. Okay,
We saw opening night.
Okay,
And so
okay.
you never know. Why did you say that, Phaedra? Because
Well, I mean, I feel like sometimes in previews, it's a preview. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm getting the kinks out. I'm trying
Right.
to figure out what works and what doesn't, especially if you haven't had a lot of audiences, that like that's where you're able to really figure out if some things land or if
Yeah.
they don't. And so
Mhm.
that's why I was asking that, like, because that could be a pacing issue because you're in previews and you're still
Yeah.
trying to like get the rhythm of it. How
Yeah.
many previews do you know? Do you know how many they had?
I don't know how many they had, but
Okay.
sometimes that even kind of leaks over to opening night too.
No, yeah. You get
So-
comfortable.
Yeah.
I think they had a week of preview.
Okay.
Okay,
'Cause that
that's a
sounds
nice-
right
that's
for
a nice- that's a
TheatreWorks.
nice
That
amount.
sounds right.
All right. Well,
yeah.
come on now, Primary Trust. I can't wait to see it and support
Yes.
you. And we also have the pleasure of seeing
All My Sons.
All My Sons.
And we all saw that, not together.
No, we
Yeah.
all saw it separately.
Yes.
We did.
And I saw it 1.5 times, right? I have the pleasure of my young cousin, DJ, aka Daniel Lacey, being in the show. So I got to see a preview. And he's sharing the role with another young man named Osize.
Mhm.
And so the preview night, they were splitting the roles. So they
Oh.
shared
Oh.
like they go off and come back on.
Okay.
And so one moment it was Osize, one moment it was DJ.
Okay.
And so that was my preview example. And I was like, so then I only stayed till intermission.
Mhm.
And so because DJ has to go home and
Right.
rest and that kind of thing. Because the kids are not allowed to stay until closing. Until the show closes. And so then I went back the night after opening because DJ didn't do opening. He did the night after opening. And I got to see the whole show. So I love my DJ. He did a great job. Go job. But I loved the story. I was so engaged and enthralled. I think to me too, like there were pacing issues initially when I first saw it. That to me were like, oh, okay, come on, let's go. But I was like hungry for the story because I had already seen it like act 1 before. Right. So by the time I got to see it again, I was excited to see DJ run on, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I became like one of those stage moms that were like, I didn't breathe until he left the stage, which was so funny. But seeing it, the whole thing to the end, I was like really moved. I think it was a really dope story. I didn't expect it to end the way it ended. And I wasn't familiar with the story. So that was dope. And then I've also, Jimmy Schmidt, like, come on now. I've been watching him on TV. My mom is like, watches all the CSIs, all the murder shows. My mom watches them all. So Jimmy Schmidt was always on TV for me. Yeah. So it was dope to see him on stage with his wife. So I enjoyed it. So for me, I want to say it's 2 get downs. And I say that only because, like I said, pacing. And I couldn't, the Black family in the show, I just couldn't settle in with them. I don't know what it was, but I couldn't settle into them. So I don't know. It was just something felt off with those relationships and me. And I don't know if it was just director choices or actor choices, but they didn't, I don't know. If something felt off for me.
Okay.
So 2 get downs for me.
Get down.
Awesome. Oh, sure. I'll go next. So I missed Daniel. I didn't get to see him, but I saw Osize. And man, one of the best things that I love was the incredible detail to the set. It was really, really detailed and just it just brought everything to life. There's 2 characters that I really like gravitated towards. It was the mother and it was the brother of the character Anne, who is the Black family, right? And so they pulled me in with they were grounded. They made some really strong choices. I just could not stop watching them. I enjoyed everyone, but those are the two actors who really was, I was like, ooh, they're up there working. I said, there's some stuff going on here. I said, all right. And then I remember that like Brandon, his physicality, he like did this like pause when he walked, and he had some like hat choreography. I was like, all right now.
He felt like he was from musical theater.
Yeah.
And then I was like, then I read his bio, and he definitely was. He definitely, and I think that's what was off for me, is I felt like he had very presentational showmanship, which I love, but it just, to me, it felt off.
That's interesting.
In that story.
Because to me, it felt like I understand where I'm at. Like the stakes for me are high. I'm getting ready to enter a space that is triggering for me, particularly because I just met with somebody who, I don't want to give away, who has given me some additional information that I didn't have before. And now I have to come here and deal with that. So to me, I was seeing all of that through his physicality, which I loved.
All right, eat it up there.
So I'm going to give it Get Down.
Oh, Lord.
ShawnJ started it.
Well, you finished it.
Okay, let me start.
Go ahead, restart. So you can refinish.
I'm gonna do it.
Okay, you ready? Go ahead.
Yes. Get down. Get down.
All right, 2 get downs.
That's what I got for you. And I can tell, and I think that we're going to speak about this a little bit later, but I will let you know that there's a reason why I didn't give it 3. There was some things that, to me, so Arthur Miller is he's a renowned playwright. I will tell you that I was not familiar with this play. And because of that, I think that there were some things that could have been like enhanced, particularly and pertains to the cast. And we'll get back into that and later. And that's why I gave it 2 get downs.
Way to go. We saw it 2 different nights.
Yes, we literally saw it back to back.
Differently. So you saw Wednesday, I saw Thursday. I was familiar with the show, and I've seen it before, and so I knew what was going to happen. And so I would say for me, I'm going to give it 2 get downs.
All right.
And the reason, and we'll talk about it later, is there were some I don't know if there were directing choices or acting choices that didn't quite gel for me with that particular, with the piece, right? It's set in, I think it's 1930s, 1940s, set in 1940s, right? So it's the war, after the war, and stuff like that. So there are things that could have been incorporated into this production.
May I ask a question when you say incorporated? Do you mean, because when people go back and do a script, you can't change a script?
No.
So when you say things that could have been incorporated, what do you mean by that?
Let's talk about that later.
Okay.
Because this is our get down version, our get down portion. And then, because I do have some.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear it. Okay.
And so I think there were some choices that were made. One of the characters seemed like they were in a different play because they had chosen a different vocal accent, and it just didn't fit with everyone else. And so and it kind of pulled me out of it. And I was like, why are they talking like that and everyone else isn't? And so I think that is where the director should have said, oh, I don't know if the director asked for that. That just didn't fit, right? So I think for me, continuity, consistency, and truth telling, because you've got a Latino family, a Black family, and then there was a white family, right? But the white family was only a husband and wife. So you didn't get to really see any like children or offspring that could tell you anything else about them. But the other ones, you saw brother and sister, and you have a mother, father, and a son. And you have the neighbor kid, right, who's coming in and out. And then you have the other neighbors who are Latino, right? So I think for me, it's 2 get downs because of missed opportunities of really telling the story in a different and some choices.
Yes. Okay. All right. Well, that is 6 get downs out of 2, 3, 6, 9. I can't count, y'all. 6 get downs. 6 out of 9 get downs for
All My Sons.
All My Sons.
The Berkeley Rep.
Yes. All right, and then we all 3 of us saw this. Gods and Monsters, at NCTC. It was their final preview. And what is the show about a little bit? Just
But it tells a story about the director who directed the Frankenstein movies, like the Bride of Frankenstein,
James
Well, and then he also directed
Showboat.
And he was openly gay in the 1930s, and then there was a scare that happened where openly gay men started to go back into the closet because studios were scared about losing money and all that stuff, right? And so this director was openly gay, so he was free, and so he's used to being that way. And so this takes up later in his life with a couple of flashbacks about the movie and the people in his life. And this was an adaptation of I think there was a book.
Yeah.
There's an adaptation of the book. And I think I would give this preview probably.
I'm sorry. It wasn't my cup of tea. I'm just gonna be 100%. The storyline, I didn't really care about Frankenstein. So I was just like, okay, we're gonna go and get our butts in the theater seats because we're gonna learn, because I didn't know anything about this show. However, it was about an older white male, and his monsters and his horrors that he's dealing with, his demons and stuff like he was dealing with. And I just couldn't really stick with the storyline for me. It was a little bit too slow, and there was a black male character, but I didn't understand why he was black. I didn't understand why he was in the story. To me, I felt like he was used, and then I don't know, I didn't feel right. It didn't sit right with me. But yeah, it just wasn't my story. It wasn't something that I like to go to theater and see. So I have to give Gods and Monsters one get down. And that's because there is a black person in that cast, and we do want to support those that are on stage. And again, this is not necessarily a black story. I want to be 100% honest about it. It's not a black story. It does have a black character in this story, but this is definitely about an older white male and what he's going through.
Yeah.
Yep.
Might get down.
Yeah.
Back to you.
Sure. I would have to agree with the one get down. And I say that because I think when you adapt a book and you create characters, even though the Latina was written in the book, was taken out of the movie that ended up being made, the character of the gardener was always white. Right. And so making him black, I think if you this again, intentionality about making characters part of the culture, how do you do that? And I think that script did not do that because it wasn't about that character. It was about the other. So then it becomes an ancillary character. It becomes an add-on. And that add-on sometimes feels like an accessory.
Yeah.
Especially when you're a black person going to see and support another black person.
Exactly.
You're like, okay, here it is. I want to see myself. And then because the theater or the director has chosen that this usually white character is now black, but you've never added anything to make because you can't really necessarily change the script. So the things around them have to.
But this was written with a black character
in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the adapter created those characters. So the original book had the Latina, the movie took out the Latina. This adaptation puts back the Latina, but makes the gardener black.
But what about that story made you feel like the gardener was black?
Well, nothing. Just that he was they added. I wouldn't say they added. There were parts of the story where he spoke about he had to go to the gas station to use a bathroom, right? Because he wasn't allowed in the house to use a bathroom.
But that's like 3 sentences that told you that this was a black man.
Right.
Other than that, it didn't affect the story either way.
Because he didn't have an affinity for black men. Right. So
I can't wait to get to this segment so we can talk about
it. So I'll be brief with mine. I'll also give it a 1 because I enjoyed some of the banter at first, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool." And then I got lost, and then I felt light, and I lightly closed my eyes, and then I woke up because there was something that was shown that I said, "Wow, what's that?" I won't spoil it for you if you're gonna go see it. I encourage you to go to see it because just for that, it was great.
Oh my!
And
Lord.
so
not just for that. Not just for that.
Well, not just for that, but that's one of the reasons that kept me throughout. And I felt like I wish they would have made it. Could it have been 90 minutes, or could could it have had an intermission? Because I felt like I was like, wow, 1 hour and 40 minutes straight. And with the pacing issues, that was my issue. And then, like you all were saying, I really did not understand the connection between the Black character. I'm still confused because even though we attended a pre-show talkback, I was like, okay, I was confused. So 1.
Yeah. And I would add to that, I think some, to go even a little bit deeper, I think some of the lighting, because there was projection used, and I think there was a lot of, the lighting seemed a little dark at times, and I was sort of like, I can't see who I should be looking at.
Right, that's true.
Who is the focus on? And so some of that detailing, I think, I'm always going to be the details. I would like, so some of the lighting was sort of like, come on, like this area. I think that movement could have moved some of that along. So yeah.
All right.
So that's our that's out in these theater streets that we didn't see.
We didn't see. We was outside.
Yes, we were.
And speaking of being out in theater streets, we also wanted to give you some, I don't know if we mentioned this the last time, but like going to the theater, right?
Yeah.
How do you plan an outing to the theater? How to make it a great night?
That's right.
Liz messed up. She didn't have a great night. Liz, tell us about your night.
Well,
this is what led to this.
What happened, Liz?
Okay. So I already knew that the show started at 7:00.
What show you was going to see?
I was going to see All My Sons.
Okay, in Berkeley.
Yes, in Berkeley. And I work in downtown Oakland. And I purposefully stayed at work until 6 to do my work.
What time did your show start?
It started at 7.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, I'm going to get here in plenty of time. I gave myself time I left my job at like 6:05 or something like that. I found parking. It was 6:29. And I was like, great. I was like, I'm hungry. I need something to eat. So I walk up to Shattuck and then I'm like, oh, I love this like sushi place that they have. Let me grab something real quick. It wasn't grab something real quick. I kept looking at the time. I said, oh, I went up to the person and basically was like, can you wrap this up? I was like, I have to leave. I'll come back. He's like, oh, we close by the time you get back. I was like, oh, okay, well, I gotta go. And he quickly made it for me. And I was like, and I like ran down to the theater and I went in there. It was like 6:51. I was like, oh shit. And then they hit the bell. So the bell basically just giving us like the last call. So I'm like, cool, I got time. I'm about to take a couple bites because my stomach growling. So I opened up my food and I took a couple bites and I'm like, I was like, oh, shit, let me go. So then I go to my seat and then I look. It's a row of people. It's just all filled in. And then I was in the middle. The seats were good, but I was in the middle. So I did a lot of this. Excuse me, pardon me. Excuse me, pardon me. Excuse me, pardon me. And I accidentally hit this guy with my backpack. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, excuse me. And then as I'm turning around to like place my backpack down, I hear somebody say, oh, really? Come on. And I looked to my left and I was like, oh, what happened? And she said, you put your butt in my face. And I said, oh, excuse me. And she said, oh no, it's okay. It's
but
fine.
If it's okay, then why she make a statement?
Because she thought I wasn't going to say something.
Oh, Lord. She didn't know who
Liz.
And I was like, and then, so I was like, I sat down. So this is where this came from.
And you was you made it to your seat, it was 6:58?
I was in my seat at 6:57.
Okay, so we want to give you tips on how not to be like Liz.
This is all true, y'all.
And here's the deal. In order to go out and see the theater, we want you to also be able to go out and have a drink or have something to eat. Make a night of going out to the theater, because then you're going to want to do it again.
It's an event.
And then usually we'd like to have a cocktail or something after so that we can like decompress and talk about what we saw and like do that. So we want to give you a few tips of how to show up and go to the theater. Yeah?
All right.
Yes. So one of that is food.
Make a reservation.
So make a plan.
Yeah.
Like typically a theater's website will give you some suggestions about local food places in the area. And if they don't, just simply pull up a map. You can search. We got so much technology that makes it so much easier. Pick a spot if you plan on having dinner or a snack or a drink, and time it, right? So you want to be ideally in the theater, I would say at least
15 minutes before
15 to 10 minutes before the curtain, right? because there's always the curtain speech, which takes about 5 to 7 minutes.
And you got to take your pictures too,
And you got to take your pictures. You got to
Mhm.
use the restroom. You want to prepare yourself for all of that. So like getting your butt in a theater seat involves a series of
preparation.
right?
Yeah.
And then when you go to the restaurant, what I usually do is I tell the waiter, can we have our check right away?
Mhm.
Like that way I can, even though our bill hasn't come, everybody's paid their portion, right?
Mhm.
And if anybody orders anything after that, that's their own separate bill. But usually as soon as we order, I'm asking the waitress, I let them know. We go to Eureka all the time when we go to Berkeley, and I always let them know, hey, we're going to go see the show. And they usually drop the check right away. And that's one of my favorite things to do is tell a waitress, hey, we're going to a show. We need to be out here by a certain time. And so then they'll drop the check early. So
Yeah.
get all your little orders in at the top,
Yeah.
and then ask for your check and pay for your check before you even eat. And I understand, I'm funny about my food and my service and all that kind of stuff, but you also go to the show and we don't want you to be late. Okay. I can't stand to be on stage and it's my family coming in the door late. And I'm trying to be in the scene, and here go my auntie. Look, there she go. Girl, sit down. So we want to make sure you make it on time. So go to the restaurant and ask for your check as soon as you order.
Yes. And then it's kind of like, well, what you gonna wear? Because times have changed. So you don't necessarily have to wear anything that's super dressed up. You can go in business casual. Like, let me tell you something. I'm always going against the grain. So I roll up in there with a baseball cap on. I'll put some tennis shoes on, some jeans, and a sweatshirt.
Yes, she
'Cause
does.
That's what I do. Because I do Liz all day long.
However, if it's like opening night or closing night, you want to fancy it up a little bit because the cast will come out, take pictures, and do that and get down with you, right? Don't wear no big old hat because somebody is sitting behind you. So a baseball cap is cool, but don't bring your hats up into the theater. We don't want that, right? And
Well, I wear mine.
a beanie, a scully, that don't matter.
No, I wear my big fedora thing.
But
But
you're sitting in the back.
I also take it off.
Exactly.
Good
Don't
tip.
bring them hats into the theater. But we also want to tell you, these theater seats are close sometimes.
They are.
Oh my Lord! The other night, as a matter of fact, when we saw Gods and Monsters, when I realized there was extra seats behind us, I was like, "Hey, can we ask to move? Because I don't like sitting up like this with people I don't know. Because some of y'all come to the theater and you don't put
hold
a
that
mask
one.
on or cover your mouth or do whatever
Aw.
you're supposed to do. So yeah, make sure you're being considerate of others because them seats is nice and tight.
We close.
So don't bring all your backpacks and your stuff,
Yeah.
your jackets.
Well, I
and
had to bring
everything.
mine. That was my work backpack.
Place them between your legs. Don't make anybody else uncomfortable. Tuck them underneath the seat like on the airplane.
Yeah. And like, who all gonna be there? So you have no control over who's gonna be in the audience.
None.
Literally, you don't. But you gonna be there with
Right.
your beautiful, incredible self supporting live theater. So go up in there and be you. Be
Oh yeah,
yourself.
don't worry about who's gonna be there because they ain't gonna
Yeah.
be worried about. Well, they be worried about us every time.
And
we
you
go
laugh
somewhere
loud.
like that. and go ahead and have it.
Yeah,
Most artists that are on the stage want to hear you anyway.
absolutely.
Not as a heckler, but as someone who is like seriously having a good time and enjoying themselves in the theater and are getting all the jokes and understanding all the puns and things like that. So be yourself, be loud and proud, but be respectful at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you get your snacks, open them before the show starts.
That's what the
Oh.
the person at the bar did for me at Gods and Monsters. He
Open
snipped it up for me, and I was like, cool. So
Because
I don't have to be
can't stand to be in the moment. Oh my gosh, when I saw what show is DJ in?
All My Sons.
All My Sons. And it was a group of kids behind me, and I swear they all had fun size snack packs, wrap packs, whatever they had. And they was opening and I kept that's a show. It ain't a musical, so it's quiet.
It's quiet.
And so I kept turning around. And when finally the packages stopped, them kids was behind me like this. When I said, now y'all done ate and went to sleep, that don't make no darn sense, but they was
sugar.
kids.
Yeah.
Sugar
But yeah, so make sure your little packages and stuff is open and don't be digging and reaching and grabbing while I'm trying to understand the plot of the story.
Yes. So those are our tips for how you plan an outing to the theater. And we're going to also take our own advice because we keep saying
you shouldn't be charged for the party.
I should know better because I should.
And read your ticket so you can know where your seat is.
That's true.
If you're in the middle of the aisle, don't come at the last person and make everybody stand up and scoot over.
Yeah, I own that. That's what I did.
Well, that's why we learning from your mistake.
But sometimes you don't know you're in the middle.
That's true
You
too.
know,
Because I didn't know.
we get our tickets.
Why you don't? You can look up the theater and the seats. Why you
I didn't
don't?
know because I had to pick so I picked that ticket up once.
At the box office?
Yeah.
They can tell
Yeah.
you where your seat is too.
Yeah, but
Oh,
remember
okay.
I was running late? Okay.
Anyway,
for
but
the
what we're telling you is make it an outing.
Make it an outing.
Make it an event. Make it something
Yes.
that's just not going to the theater, because then it feels like a chore. Make it part of an outing of like, we're going to have drinks before or dessert before, and then we're going to see live theater. And then we're going to go out afterwards and then talk about it, right?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
that is the engagement that we're looking for when it comes to live theater, especially from Black artists, for Black artists and Black people in general.
Yes. Absolutely. All right. Are we going to do it?
So we're going to do it. We're going to do it. So this next part
Oh, Lord.
conversation is basically following up on these theater streets when it comes to incorporation of cultural representation into a classic white American theater piece. And I think that can be particularly All My Sons, and we've seen it before in other pieces as well, is that when you take a predominantly white piece and you put Black folks or Latino folks in the story, I feel there is a responsibility that you have to incorporate that culture in the telling of that story. Because All My Sons, for an example, is it's about white people. But this cast, the lead cast, were Latino, right? You had Jimmy Smits, his wife, the neighbors who were also Latino, and then you had a white couple next door. But then previously, a Black family lived next door, right? But none of that's really in the story. It's not written in the script that they're Black, because they aren't. And so how do you take that and incorporate those pieces when you have actors of that culture playing these characters? And I would say, because they're looking at me like, keep going. It's not hard, but it's not easy either. And so you have to really know the script, and then you have to know your actors, right? And so I say there was a missed opportunity in All My Sons to utilize two well-known Latino actors who were in the lead. And part of that is also the set design, right? I believe you could have easily put some elements of the Latino culture into that set design, as opposed to it being cookie cutter. And also what we were looking at the backyard. So that's an even greater opportunity to really influence how that backyard incorporates their culture.
Right.
Because at that time, Latinos were also being ushered out of the country, right?
Yep.
So this family might have needed to hide to some extent. But once they're at home, they're not going to hide as much, right? Especially in the backyard. So I think there was an opportunity to present whatever that would be. So example, if it was a Black family, we would probably have some stuff that was part of our culture in that backyard.
Right.
Right. That signaled to other Black folks, oh, this is how we roll. Right. Or even if it's not to other Black folks or other Latinos, it would tell like, well, so I wonder why that type of lawn chair? What is that hoop ball, that basketball, whatever it is, not to be stereotypical.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. It's like for instance, when we did Legally Blonde, like why we chose to do a Black Elle, but then all of the things that we incorporated with Elle, like at the beauty salon, there were hair products that were for Black women. So we didn't necessarily say, hey, Elle is Black, but what we did was we took things from her culture, the choreography from her culture, things that made her like represent, well, I guess what we feel like represent Blackness, intertwined into the set and the way in which it played out. And I do agree with that. I feel like they almost like, it was almost like when somebody is like, we're colorblind.
Yes.
And it was like, well, then what was the point of doing it?
Exactly.
To me, it was like, if we're going to change all the races and we're going to like put, multicultural and inclusivity, then why didn't we also include the culture of those folks, right?
Yeah,
like
for sure.
So then it doesn't feel like inclusive. It feels like this is white America and we're gonna just put folks into that. And I understand all of our stories are the same, and all of our we are all human beings. Yeah, like we all go through certain things and all have, but the way in which we move through the world is slightly different. It's slightly through a different lenses and shades and And in order to express that in America, we need to start showing that.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Like that, yes, our background, black backyards is also going to always have this barbecue pit over here that maybe ain't nobody used no more, but it's a new one over here in this corner, right? Like, Uncle Jimmy got rid of it, but he said he didn't want to move. Like, those are things that
Signals,
make
though.
people feel like they are seen
Yep.
when they go to see a show. There's
Yeah.
something that they can relate to.
Yeah.
So I do see what you're saying. Now as I
Yeah.
look at the set, I'm like, oh yeah, they did, that is a missed
sure.
opportunity.
Yeah.
And I do feel like when I first initially read it or read that they were doing this and they were going to spin it, because of course I was a part of all of the behind the scenes with DJ, and
Right.
we were like there for all that. Well, I didn't go for everything, but that was the thing, is that they were doing it because it was going to be different. It was going to be different races, and it was like, oh, okay, what is this? But then I feel like as I was watching it, I liked the story. Don't get me wrong,
Right. It's a
but
good
to
story.
me, I just felt like something was like just off,
Yeah.
and now I understand what it
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
And I also agree too about the costuming. The costuming they could have really leaned into that, because I didn't see anything that stood out to kind of
No,
signify.
they all feel like they were from the same place. And
Yeah.
I feel like
there was no
that's
difference.
also different, right?
Yes.
The way in which we dress, the way
Yeah.
in which we
Yeah,
we move,
for sure.
even from being from the same
Yeah.
neighborhood, there's still, if you have a different cultures in that neighborhood, there's still move different. So yeah, I agree with that. So so what are we doing? Like,
Well,
if we're doing that, if we're theater companies are really wanting to do that, and we've had a conversation about this before, like just wanting to, we want to be inclusive, but being inclusive doesn't mean just
checking the box.
checking boxes and putting Black people in plays that weren't written for Black folks. Like, if inclusivity is like really telling stories of people of color and what that background looks like and what that looks
Yeah.
like, what that household looks like,
What it
because
sounds
that
like.
allows people to be more accepting.
Yeah, what it smells like.
Because now what you did with that story is say we all sound and look the same. And so then it's hard for us to accept when Black folks don't sound like that or they don't look like that, because when we are shown that and we're taught that, because the theater is the teacher, and we're taught that, we're teaching that we're all the same, and that's
Yeah.
not the truth. That's not
Right.
the truth. So
And there's a possibility, because I believe sometimes in the Latino culture there is the proximity to whiteness,
of course,
right? And that could have been a piece of the conversation that happened at the table work about this particular Latino family. I just, with the actors in these parts, I don't think that is I think there was a different opportunity,
Yeah.
because I can't remember her name. She's the actress who played the mom, and like she walks with her culture. Like you can feel her culture, and you can feel Jimmy Smith's culture,
Yeah.
right? So I think what you do in that instance is you can't change lines,
No.
right? But what I have done in the past is, if I have a Latino character, I have a Latino actor, and they're in a piece, I go, first, do you speak Spanish?
Yeah.
And they go, I speak fluent Spanish. I will have them speak a couple of their lines in Spanish. I'm not changing the line.
Nope.
Right.
It's just being spoken in Spanish.
Yeah, even like when she got upset with him, she could have been like,
Right.
yeah.
And so it's those moments in which you can totally incorporate that culture that infuses how that works. It's like, we don't all, Wanda, phenomenal. And so I think
Yes.
there's a way to do that. And then like when it comes to the set, when it comes to the costumes, when it comes to, because the character of Anne was in New York for a while, right?
Yes,
So there's
she
gonna
was.
be a New York influence that comes with her, right? And how she
Right.
walks, how she carries herself. And so I think, not to be mean or anything, I think it was safe. I think they played it really, really safe. And I think when you do the classics, and the African American Shakespeare Company does this, when you do the classics in color,
Yep.
there is a responsibility of taking that script and really piecing where
you can
you can
that
influence,
color.
because you did that with Legally Blonde, right? You like going, oh no, this drum sequence, oh, I know, you already saw it, like you saw it so clearly, right? This is how Elle walks through the world, right? She ain't got to mention that she's Black, but this is how she walks through the world as a
Right.
Black woman, right?
Right.
Her wigs and stuff like that. And so I think for this particular production and other productions that have done similar things, is if you're going to do it, you have to sit down and go, how inclusive are we trying to be?
Right.
How inclusive can we be?
Mm-hmm.
And what are we charged with, right? And what is our goal? Because if you are just simply putting Black folks and brown people into these parts, but not doing the work of dissecting the script in a way in which you can inform things in the script, like give someone a different inflection. They're still saying the lines,
Yeah.
but like do they pronounce a word slightly different
Mhm.
because of where they come from?
Where
Right.
is the emphasis in the sentence? lie?
Exactly,
Yeah.
because we're going to emphasize certain things differently, and this is how I compared it. Right, Dolly Parton's "I Will Always Love You."
Oh yeah.
White country woman wrote a song, sang it. Then it was sung by Whitney Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Same song, same lyrics, very different interpretation.
Yes.
And that is what that is. Basically,
Absolutely.
you take a piece of a script,
Mm-hmm.
you take the script, and you go, how do we Dolly Whitney it?
Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
that's good.
That's all it is.
That's what it is. Yeah.
That is what it is.
That's all it is.
Mhm.
So,
well said.
yeah, I came with that this morning.
Oh, look at you.
Come on, Dolly Whitney.
Well, there it is.
Does that answer your question, Miss Phaedra?
It does. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I feel like you really were able to just clarify that and articulate that in such a way that it's receptive. Everyone will be able to receive this particular feedback.
Yeah.
And we hope that you do.
Because it was just it's an opportunity to really showcase those actors
Yeah.
in their culture,
Yes.
right? And then we do feel seen because we didn't just simply get inserted into something.
Mhm.
So
All right.
so
Phaedra, you know what time it is.
What time is it?
it's your favorite part of the show.
Center
Stage Shade.
Ooh, it's getting shady in here.
So this is kind of my
Mm-hmm.
take. So keep your stank ass at home
Ooh.
if you just came from the gym, if you've been running errands all day, if you've ridden your bicycle to the theater
Ooh.
and you're sitting in the audience.
Uh-oh.
Because, baby,
Child.
the last thing I need or want is to smell you while I'm trying to enjoy a theater piece.
Well, I had worked all day, and then as soon as I could get to the theater was right after my fourth job of the day.
Run your
Deodorant.
ass into the bathroom, grab some paper towels, wet them, run them under your
Because
arms.
that's a long 2 hours next to me, huh?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Hey.
Yes, it is.
And also on that tip, don't wear too much cologne or perfume
Oh,
Please.
man.
because we are at closeness.
I don't
again.
want to hug you and your cologne come off on
No.
me.
Yeah,
And then the rest of the night I smell
I
like
smell you.
I don't want that.
Yeah, and I hate it. 'cause-
I like
Nobody
you
does.
smelling good. I don't want to.
exactly.
I'm not your boo.
No.
And
Subtlety.
so
So
it makes sense if it comes off on your boo because y'all been hugging and
you're right.
snuggling.
And doing other
But
things.
if you hugged me and then I smell like you the rest of the evening, I'm annoyed.
I'm annoyed because it may not be a scent I like.
No,
And now
it was
it's in
good
my
on
nostrils.
you.
It's on my nostrils now.
It's now on my body,
Yeah.
and I can't get
Mhm.
it off.
And I
Can't
don't
get it
wear
off.
cologne.
no.
So imagine you have now spread your stuff onto me.
Uh,
I'm like, I already smell
so we
good.
don't want y'all to stink, and we don't want y'all to smell too good.
Don't, like, it smell good, but
Find
just
a happy medium.
have that meeting where it's like going, if
Spray it and walk through it.
there we go. But
Lightly.
don't just put it on before you walk into the theater,
Mm-mm.
especially if it's very flowery, because then my allergies, because it just gets into my sinuses and I'm sneezing,
Yeah.
right?
And the theater is tight.
And the
dog.
theater
is
It's
tight.
in there.
Right? And so
Mhm.
it's just please, for
Mm-mm.
all that is holy and sacred, just think about
Other people.
other people and don't stank.
Do that too at auditions.
Well, yeah, that part.
And also, when you got a hot chew or
Cover your mouth.
Well, if you're sick, stay at home.
stay at home.
True that.
Stay your ass at
Because
home.
you might get the
Seriously.
whole audience and the cast. sick.
Exactly.
And there have been times when I have gone to the theater and I had the residual
You know what
effects
you do,
of the
though?
cold. I know. You see me do it.
Mhm.
Put on a mask.
Yep. Yeah.
I put on a mask, and even if with my mask, I have a sneeze or I have a cough, I'm still like into my elbow.
Yeah. It's
Into my
Let's be
elbow.
considerate
Just
about
be-
this.
some
Please.
folks are just-
'Cause we don't want to have to keep telling you how to be on the shade, okay?
Come
Some
on.
folks just
Just get
fast.
it together.
Get it together.
Get it together.
All right, so we need to put your butt
In
In
a
a
theater
theater
seat.
seat.
These are the shows that you should be going to go and see.
All right. All my sons at Berkeley Rep A bold new perspective to this American classic through a lens of race, ethnicity, and class, maintaining the original text while sharpening its themes of justice and inequity. This powerful revival reveals a tragedy where the pursuit of prosperity collides with the reality of who America was built to serve. Featuring Maya, I got to say hi to her. How do you say his name? Osije.
Brandon Gill, Daniel Lacey, Regina Morones, with understudies Samuel Adamole, and Robert M. Jimenez, and Emily Newsom.
Thank you, because I got stuck on the names. I was like, I can't
get you
out of here.
So it's playing until March 29th. Tickets, www.berkeleyrep.org.
All right, you also need to get out there and see Primary Trust at TheatreWorks at the Lucie Stern Theatre. The Pulitzer Prize-winning story, Kenneth has spent 20 years at the same bookstore, sipping from the same daily Mai Tai with his imaginary best friend. When his world suddenly shifts, he's forced to discover if there's a life and a future waiting for him beyond the familiar. A quiet, beautiful story about bravery and starting over. This is written by Ebony Booth. It features William T. Hodgson, Rolanda D. Bell, and Kenny Scott. Tickets are on sale from now until March the 29th at box office at TheatreWorks.org.
Next up, we have Gods and Monsters at NCTC. Step into the fading glamour of 1950s Hollywood, where Frankenstein director James Whale is haunted by the monsters he created and the ones he's kept hidden. This psychological dive explores the thin line between the creator and the creature and a quest for one last moment of peace. Features Jason and Blackwell. It opened last night and it runs until April 5th. Tickets are at nctcsf.org.
Yes. And Flex at SF Playhouse. It's 1997 in rural Arkansas, and the Lady Snipers are playing for more than just a trophy. Flex is a high-octane look at ambition, sisterhood, and the hustle it takes for 5 young women to dribble their way toward a pro career. Written by Candice Jones, directed by Margot Hall. Features Santian Brown, Camille Calaco, Emma Gardner, Halili Knox, hey girl, Paige Mays, and Courtney Gabrielle Williams. Hey, Courtney. Previews begin March 26th. Opening night is April 1st, and it runs until May 2nd. Tickets, sfplayhouse.org.
Also, The Monsters at Berkeley Rep. After years of watching her estranged brother, Big, from afar, Lil finally emerges from the shadows to confront him on his doorstep. Award-winning playwright Ngozi Anyanwu stars alongside Sullivan Jones in this raw sibling love about the grit and grace required to face buried resentments. Developed at Berkeley Rep, The Monsters is a riveting exploration of the demons we must fight to forgive and rebuild. This is going to be directed by Tamila Woodard. It features Ngozi, Sullivan Jones, Jamal James, Carol J. McKenneth as the understudy. And this runs from March 27th to May 3rd, and you can get those tickets at berkeleyrep.org.
Can I just interrupt really quick?
No.
Sullivan Jones is the actor from The Gilded Age, the Black Fine Man.
He plays a doctor.
Yeah.
The what?
The doctor. He plays the doctor
On The Gilded Age.
Gilded Age from HBO.
HBO series.
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Fabulous. So,
all right.
I can't wait to see that.
All right.
You got a little bit of spittle right there.
No, let me wipe it.
So there are plenty of opportunities for you to get your butt in a theater seat as a way of supporting Black artists and Black theater. Another way for you to do that is also by donating. You can support the African American Shakespeare Company with donations to help them to continue their mission of envisioning the classics with color. To give, visit african-americanshakes.org.
Donate to Lorraine Hansberry Theater by visiting lhtsf.org. I have some exciting news on our next episode to share with you about what's coming up at Lorraine Hansberry Theater. And yours truly.
Okay. Can't wait for that. You can also donate to the Lower Bottom Players at lowerbottomplayers.com.
Yes.
So make sure you're following us, promoting us, subscribing to our YouTube, and leave some reviews. Tell people about us. about where to see shows, I know I've run into quite a few people who are looking for community and looking to see Black art. So make sure that they are tuned in to Creatively Shaded so they can know where to go to see shows. Inbox us, message us, follow each of us Creatively Shaded together, but follow us individually because we're all working on something and creating art in this Bay Area. Speaking of which, ShawnJ, are you currently working on anything right now?
Not yet. We don't start rehearsals until late April.
Got it.
But I'm looking forward to, I'm already diving into it and stuff. I'm directing Night Mother by Marsha Norman at Alternative Playhouse.
All right. Liz, are you working on any creatively things right now?
You know what's funny? I'm thinking about getting into an acting class because I want to brush up on my technique. So that's important to me. I want to, before I get back on it, because I feel a little, it's not that I don't feel confident in myself and my abilities, but
ready.
Exactly. I don't want to, I want to polish my stuff before I get back out there.
You miss that?
Yeah, she working, child. Currently, I'm directing Percy Jackson, the Lightning Thief, that's happening at Waldorf High School that will open in April. And I'm doing a cabaret at ACT for those students. And that's where I'm kind of chilling out now. And then I'm working on my play, Sister Friend, which will have a big moment in May. So I'm working on the script editing and getting all that together for a May presentation. So some stuff and a lot of stuff in the works that I can't wait to share.
There's a lot of good theater going on.
Yes.
So as they said, click, like, and subscribe. And that little bell, if you're watching this on YouTube, so it reminds you. But you can find us on all
streaming platforms.
All streaming platforms for the podcast part of our show.
Yes.
And always email us questions. We love questions, and we will ask those on, if they're appropriate.
Yeah, if you have some center stage shade, something happened to you.
Yeah.
Send it to us, and so we can tell you exactly what we think you should have done or talk about what you did. So send us in your center stage shade if you got some. We love to
because
talk
we know
about
it's out there. We know it's out there.
It's
out there. So I think that with that, that's a wrap for episode 2 of season 3. So as always, please stay focused, fabulous, fierce, but above all, black. Smooches, y'all.
Bye, y'all.
Stay well.
Peace.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Creatively Shaded. We'd love to hear from you. Email us at creativelyshaded@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram at Creatively Shaded, at Phaedra T. Boughton, at ShawnJ, at Eliza Sanaj. You can also watch this episode and others on YouTube at Creatively Shaded. Creatively Shaded is edited by James Aaron O. and produced by Elizabeth Jones, Phaedra Tillery Boughton, and ShawnJ West. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share.